he couldn't show off to him. At least everyone else could relax and be merry.
Have you soaked the fabric? It won't catch otherwise.
Yeah, of course. Although Gazer thinks that more than bleeds.
You talked to Gazer about it? Have you soaked the fabric?
Tell me then, what did he give you for it?
Yeah, of course. I tell although Gazer thinks more than bleeds. Are you sure that anyone any good?
You think I'll blurt it out of the first person?
Fourth bell.
And that's not allowed.
Dorcas and me. I told you not to talk about it.
Are you sure they want the trouble from?
Don't worry.
But Dorcas said dining is a craft, and that's not allowed.
Dorcas and me. I told you not to talk to anyone.
Are you sure?
Dorcas and me. And I told you not to.
Where did you actually live?
When I was in the train.
You were a carpentry apprentice. Where did you actually learn?
When I was an apprentice.
But you were a carpentry apprentice.
Aye. As far as I know, all the apprentices that studied with masters.
And how much of them elderberry leaves should I put in?
As much as you can fit in there. That's how much.
But won't it be completely black?
My dear, if we could dye wool as black
And how much of them elderberry?
as much as you can.
Bloody hell.
Who wouldn't notice her, eh?
True. It's a long haul from the mill and the roads are shit. But on account of Andulka.
You're telling me. She warms my heart too.
So you probably noticed same as I did, eh?
The fellas don't talk about much else lately. But there wasn't no wedding.
And does anyone know who did it to her?
Nah. Her pa's, of course, beside himself, and she's crying a rainstorm.
So none of them are stepping up?
Not one.
Well, I ain't the marrying type. But if she said to me, hey, you got me with child, so you better marry me, well, there's worse things that could happen to a fella.
That's what I think. The fella who knocked her up is an idiot for not owning up to it. He could have a nice life.
He could, couldn't he? Enough chit-chat. Can I leave this wagon here? I have to stop off at the village to deal with something.
I bought
I
a
don't
lovely
know.
ewe gold
That cart full of charcoal
Great
will have to be
price.
gone in a while, and they'll want it done quickly. Lord Von Burgo will be back
What a
any
waste
time.
of money.
And no-
This property belongs to someone else.
Self-announced that everyone should have a good bow on hand.
Which king would that be?
I don't know exactly. But when the king commands, his subjects have to obey, don't they?
You didn't hear it from the trader who sold you the bow, by any chance?
Aye, come to think of it, it was him who told me. Well, I'll be on my way. I wish you well.
God be with you then.
Who was it?
Some vagabond. God rest his soul. And get this. Miller Bushka says he was in the water at least a week, judging by the state of his body.
So what? Somebody did him in and chucked him into the water.
But the river there has a powerful current. The dead man had been floating down the river for at least a week.
Without anyone noticing?
Exactly. And that's not all. The dead man had a gold chain around his neck.
The bell's ringing for Hans the 5th time.
Good afternoon. Show me your wares. Oh well, what can you do? Farewell then.
Passing by the
Don't go giving him any ideas, though.
Take care of yourself, then. Farewell.
What premonition? I've got a barrel of ale at home. I'm afraid it'll go bad on me soon. Someone should really do something about that.
Aye. I'm in a right bind. But what are friends for if not to help each other?
Deal. Go ahead and make friends and family too. Care now.
The 6th bell. Half the time is up.
Good day to you.
I was told to come and ask you for a job.
Nice timing. Do you know anything about carpentry?
No, but I'd be glad to learn.
That ain't worth a damn to me if I have to teach you. Good tools is more what I need. I got the job of fixing up this here scaffold, so it don't collapse when we hang that poacher. But the whole thing is fucked. I need a good carpenter's axe. There's one broadaxe in the shed, but it's as blunt as a file. Of course, Osina didn't find time all year to hone the thing.
By the way, would you happen to know how I can get up top in the Maiden?
Why, up the stairs, of course.
Yeah, but I'm not actually allowed inside the tower.
Then don't go there. Hey, I'd love to chat with you, but I got a job to do.
But that poacher is innocent.
An innocent poacher? But that's nothing to do with me. My job is to make sure it don't collapse when he swings.
I could help you with that.
You could? Well, that'd be great. Go and get it from the shed, sharpen it, and bring it back to me.
Sure thing.
What is it you need?
How are things at home?
All right, go.
And if you're out of the pen, come around and I'll be happy to help. I've got plenty of bloody work to go around.
God be with you.
Good luck to you, friend.
Here it is. Hope it's good.
Sharp as a skinning knife. Nice. Without your help, the scaffold could well collapse under that poacher. And nobody wants that.
And then the execution would be postponed.
I doubt it. We're not going to make a show out of it like they do in Prague. But someone would have to get their hands dirty, and no one fancies that.
Understandably.
Anyway, thanks. I can't afford to fuck things up today. The Chamberlain is as tetchy as the devil.
Isn't he always?
Yeah, but even more today. Anna the laundress said he's got bellyache. Everyone is avoiding him like the plague.
Uh-huh. Would you happen to know how I can get into the Maiden?
And what would you want in there?
I want to pray in the chapel. And they don't want to let me in.
The chapel, eh? Well, I'll be damned. I know one hand by the name of Binyek that wanted into the castle too, but for a damn different reason.
What was Binyek after in the castle?
A certain buxom chambermaid who wouldn't give him what he was after in the hay and wanted a fine feather bed.
And did he succeed? In getting in, I mean.
Aye, he did. He climbed down into the well in the courtyard. See, there's caves under Torski, and the well ain't actually a well, but an underground pool in one of them caves. And from there, you can get to the dungeons and then into the Maiden.
Oh, he sounds bold.
Oh, aye, but they still caught him and gave him a whipping. And when they found out how he done it, they took the cleats out of the well wall.
What does that mean?
That the next Binyek would have to jump in and not climb down. I wouldn't fancy that.
Indeed. You don't mind building a scaffold for an innocent man?
No, such matters ain't my concern. The lords decide. I just build the scaffold. A fella has to know his place in this world, like my old pa used to say.
I'll be going.
Aye, I've got to get back to work too. God be with you.
What about those lockpicks?
Shh! Not so loud. So, as I said, it won't be cheap.
Let's see what you've got.
Pleasure doing business. Take care.
Didn't show up.
No, he didn't. I expect only old Samin was a bit...
Aren't you supposed to be helping out?
I'll be going. I'll pray for Thomas.
Thanks.
If anything goes missing, I'll be after.
The seventh bell.
If anything goes missing there, I'll be after.
since noon yesterday. Where did they get to?
Let me pass. The Master Chamberlain isn't well, and he sent me to the surgeon's study for medicine.
All right then, but nothing better go missing there.
Don't worry. I suppose you're waiting here for a bite to eat.
Damn right. Like, I know they're preparing a banquet for his nibs, but they could have left one cook here. Or at least a bit of gruel, for Christ's sake.
Why don't you go to the other kitchen? They're cooking there.
Are you daft? That's the noble's kitchen. We get our food here.
I can try and find something for you.
Haven't you got anything better to do?
Not really. Besides, I'm quite hungry myself.
Go and look then. There's some baths down below. There might be something there. I'd go myself, but if someone saw me there, I'd be in trouble. Ever since... well, never mind.
I'll figure it out somehow. I can see if I've got anything to eat on me.
Hey, I need some decent grub, not some mouldy bread.
You might be surprised.
Thanks. Well, at least I won't starve.
You're welcome. Enjoy it. It's the 8th bell. I need to hurry. Say, I heard some interesting books arrived here from Prague.
Let me stop you right there. Preparations are underway to execute a poacher. I don't have time to worry about a book right now. Stop by once the lad is strung up.
You? What in God's name are you doing here?
I was about to ask you the same question.
I work here, genius.
Who are you, actually?
Me? I'm just cleaning here.
What's your name?
What's it to you?
I'm Henry.
Well, that's nice for you.
And you are?
I already told you. I'm a maid here.
And what were you doing at the pond, then?
I thought we straightened that out the last time you bothered me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
We both know you're lying. The question is, why?
Says someone who was just sitting in a jail cell and will end up right back there if anyone calls the guards on him.
You know I was locked up? Oh, for such an uncaring girl, your interest is a bit suspicious.
Right. I spend the whole day following you and the arrogant fool around, spying on you.
That's exactly what I think.
Well, think again.
I'm still not sure who you are.
Yeah, that would be because I haven't told you.
I need help.
Who doesn't? I still have to clean out all the fireplaces in the Crown. Do you know how many there are?
I don't know or care. I was sent here by the Chamberlain. He wants me to help him with his stomachache.
That slimy toad. If he doesn't watch out, his stomach will be the least of his worries.
Well, you look like you know your way around here. Maybe you can help me.
Why should I?
Because I could make plenty of trouble for you with the Chamberlain.
Uh-huh. And what would you tell him? That old deviant couldn't care less about anyone searching the surgeon's chambers. I wouldn't be the first or the last.
But he'd sure as hell care about how you talk about him. Deviant isn't a name that some lowly maid should be calling Lord von Bergov's right-hand man.
All right, all right. I get it.
Tell me what I need to know, and no one has to hear about it.
All right. If it's medicine you're after, the surgeon has a store across the corridor. There's all sorts of junk there, but there's one chest where he puts stuff that he hasn't used up. He locks it carefully, but you might get lucky.
And what if there's nothing interesting for me in there?
Then tough luck. But you can go and have a look at his records. That crackpot writes down everything he does. Maybe he gave someone something that might be of interest to you.
All right. Thanks.
And now get out of my way. Simple maid like me has lots of work to do in this castle.
9th bell. Only 3 to go.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
If anything goes missing there, I'll be out.
The 10th bell. I don't have much time left.
Greetings, lad. What brings you here?
It seems like you'd be glad to have someone to play with.
Alea Yaktan honest, my friend. The die has not been cast, and that grieves me. No one wants to play with me, so I'll be quite glad if you join me. And for what shall we play? You don't look too well off.
I heard you have a certain turquoise rosary.
Aye, it belonged to Kabat, although belonged is a strong word.
How do you mean?
Kabat is known for having some peculiar things in his property, if you grasp my meaning.
Let's play for it then.
Certainly, why not? As long as you put up a decent wager against it.
No problem. Here it is.
Come on then, show us what you can do. Unless you're playing for the first time. If I was you, I'd take it. Here. Kurva! Bloody dice! That's the way it's bloody well done. My God! Oh, come on! Damn it!
Oh dear. Well, what's to be done? I hate to part with this rosary. It's a fine thing.
I'll be glad. Kabat stole it anyway, so this will ease your conscience.
I don't know why people always imagine that we clerics take a special interest in our consciences. Anyway, wouldn't you like to bet again? It would be only fair for you to give me a chance to recover my loss.
Sorry, but I'm not going to play for this rosary. In that case, I'll be going.
Well, if you change your mind, come back. I can always find time for dice.
No, he didn't. I expect only old Samin was a bit peeved, since he couldn't show up.
I have that rosary for you. It's very nice.
Great. Let's have a look.
Here you have it.
Good fella. Here's a bit of equipment for you in exchange. I don't suppose I'll be needing it again.
No, he didn't. I expect only old...
And make sure those livers are well roasted, so they're crisp on the outside and juicy on the inside. Nothing half-cooked.
God bless. What would you like?
Sir, about those health problems of yours.
Yes?
I have exactly what you need, sir. Sir, I'd recommend that you take this digestive potion to settle your stomach. Take it after every meal, and don't forget, a good diet, and do not get upset.
All right. Thanks, then.
And now you ought to go and lie down, sir.
Lie down? Me? Ha! Without me, this place would grind to a standstill.
Sir, medicine isn't enough. You also need rest. Otherwise my potion won't have much effect.
Oh, all right then. I'll try it.
And another thing. I don't want to bother you, sir, but I have a question.
Yes? What is it?
Couldn't I go and pray in your chapel?
Ah, that again. Good heavens. Go where you want, boy. I'll inform the guards.
Thank you, sir. The 11th toll of the bell. The last before the execution starts.
You're not permitted to be here. Give up.
Easy! I surrender!
I've got you. You can't say you weren't warned. You can't just loiter around on other people's property. You'll pay up and show me whether you stole...
Look.
What are you...
Look.
Where are you going?
It's like that. No. They're wheeling. Well, this you... Hi. And all of a sudden, that girl... Aye.
All right. You're not permitted to be here. Halt!
Well, I closed.
Are you deaf? Yield! Are you trying to piss me off? Surrender right now!
Alright! Alright! You caught me! I surrender!
You can't say you weren't warned. You can't just loiter around on other people's property. You'll pay up and show me whether you stole anything. Otherwise, we'll deal with your unruliness in the pillory.
Look, can you keep a secret?
What are you talking about? What secret?
Look, we're both men, aren't we?
Where are you going with this? You're testing my patience.
It's like this. Yesterday, I met this pretty girl. She makes yarn. And you know what they say about girls who work with spinning wheels?
No. What?
They're really good in bed.
That's a good one.
Well, this yarn spinner, she was very afraid her mother would find out we planned on meeting. So she gives me these complicated directions on where to meet her. At high noon, I stood at the shadow of the tallest linden tree, and step by step, I set out. Then all of a sudden, I look around and realise I have no idea where I am. The girl's nowhere to be seen, and people are yelling at me. That girl made a right fool of me.
That's what you get for thinking with your prick.
Aye. I've had enough embarrassment for one lifetime. Can't we just let this one slide?
All right then. I'll turn a blind eye just this once. I expect only old Samin was a bit peeved, since he couldn't show off.
And Lord von Berghoff didn't show up.
Aye, but he drools all over himself and he gets this feeling that his time's nearly up.
Does he get it often?
Nearly all the time. And he's always threatening to leave everything to the church if I don't go and see him.
Aye. Once old folks start getting soft in the head. Oh, well.
The 11th toll of the bell. The last before the execution starts.
What do you think you're doing? I'm sorry.
Pardon me for disturbing you, miss.
If you want to pray, go somewhere else. The chapel is closed. Unless you're a priest. Which I presume you're not.
No, I'm not. My name is Henry.
I'm Adela, Thomas's sister. What is it you want, Henry?
I need to talk to your brother.
No chance of that. He's been lying in a fever for 3 days. And the surgeon is away with Sir Otto. Unless he returns soon, Thomas won't be talking to anyone ever again.
What actually happened to him?
They were attacked by bandits by the pond. His mare Arrow brought him home. He was completely out of it. And little wonder, the way he was hacked up. If the surgeon was here, he'd be in his care. Some of his wounds have healed, but now he has a fever. He's been bedridden for 3 days.
I'm sorry. I heard that your brother is lying in a fever, so I brought something for him that might help.
Really? I don't know what to say. And I was against dragging Thomas to the chapel. I felt it would only burden him more.
God moves in mysterious ways. We ought to administer it to him quickly.
Yes, of course. His fever is getting worse. If this doesn't work, I don't think he'll last long.
you all to be vigilant. These days we have all sorts of vagabonds, drifters, outlaws and bandits roaming the country. And we have one of those vermin here today. A fella called Hans, who is clearly not right in the head. A dangerous madman, a brawler, and a thug. The worst of all, a poacher. And so, for the damages he caused to our dear Lord Otto von Berghoff, he is sentenced to be hanged by the neck until dead!
You can't execute this man. He's a noble. Captain Thomas here will testify that we're messengers from Rattay.
What is this nonsense, for Christ's sake?
It's true. I am Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein.
Deal with it, for God's sake!
But sir, the captain!
Captain Thomas has a fever. He's clearly delirious. Seize them immediately!
You can't do this! I am a nobleman, do you hear? A noble! Get your hands off me! You can't do this!
Open the gates!
My lord?
What the hell is going on?
It was just a... It's a hanging.
You can't hang him. He's a noble. That's for me to judge. Take him down! And for Christ's sake, help me off this horse!
You may enter. His lordship is expecting you.
So, you're messengers from Rattay, huh? I was wondering when someone would turn up. All right, then. Let's hear it.
My respects, Sir Otto. I am Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein, and this is Henry of Skalitz, my escort.
Welcome to Trotsky, gentlemen. I'd greet you standing up as befits, but I'm glad I can even sit at the moment.
I heard you were ambushed by outlaws.
You heard right. Those bastards did a job on me. And I got out luckier than most. Almost all the others were killed, including my page and my surgeon. So there is no one here to heal me, and I will have to inform poor Albert's father that his son died in my service.
I hope your health will soon be restored, sir.
We shall see. But now,
You tell me what happened here in Herrgott's Namen. Why did my chamberlain try to hang you, Lord Capon?
In truth, the welcome we got from your Master Chamberlain was somewhat... how shall I put it?
Your Chamberlain's welcome was appropriate enough, considering our appearance, the situation in your domain, and your orders, sir.
Ah. I appreciate your diplomacy, young man. Master Chamberlain Ulrich can sometimes be more hasty and passionate than is healthy. And we are glad you hold no grudge against him. Are we not, Ulrich?
I regret what happened, gentlemen. Please accept my humblest apologies.
Anyway, let us leave this misunderstanding aside and get to the point. As far as I'm aware, Ratai showed no interest in negotiations before, either with me or with the League of Lords.
True. Our houses have thus far stood on opposite sides.
I should say so. Attacking Brno and Jihlava together with that renegade Sokol of Lemberg hardly inspired our sympathy.
But we can all point the finger. Your League of Lords, on the other hand, abducted the king, although I don't doubt your reasons, just as Sir Hanush did.
We certainly had. The main one being that your Wenzel is an irresponsible drunkard and idler who is hurting the Empire by his inactivity. But let us leave that aside. Tell me, what does Sir Hanush have on his mind? I am all ears.
Unfortunately, during the ambush, we lost the letter we were carrying, so you'll have to make do with my word of mouth.
All right. Go ahead and speak.
In brief, Sir Hanush, Sir Radzig, and other lords take the view that the situation has got out of control. And that's of no benefit to anyone in Bohemia, neither Wenceslas's supporters or the League of Lords. King Sigismund's actions will not lead to instilling greater order than under King Wenceslas. Quite the contrary.
Let us say that maybe. What arises from it?
Sir Hanush and the other lords on our side are interested in knowing what the stance of the League of Lords is at this moment, and whether they haven't perhaps reevaluated some things.
In other words, whether I might betray Sigismund.
Well, betray is a strong word. We came to you, Sir Otto, because you're the leading voice of the League of Lords. I expect there are also lords among your ranks who are considering how to find a way out of this sticky situation. And for the Kingdom of Bohemia, it would certainly be better if our paths were to join rather than parting.
Your companion speaks like a diplomat, Sir Hans. However, the question is whether it's possible to join fire with water and end up with anything but nasty smoke. Nonetheless, Sir Hanush and Sir Radzig are right. There is disorder and anarchy in the land. Bandits riding roughshod all over. As we all know, to our cost.
We've had plenty of experience of that at home too, sir. Only a short time ago we had to deal with a similar band.
Then you will surely understand that before I begin debating who would be the better king, I must sweep my own doorstep. Only I'm damned if I know how to do that, since those bastards have wiped out half of my garrison, including my captain.
If I may be so bold, sir, you're not the only one. We also have a score to settle with them, so Henry and I will gladly help you.
Is that so? Now that is what I call the words of a knight, Sir Hans.
Right now, we've got a common enemy, so we have common interests too.
So then, sir, may we be of assistance to you?
Indeed you may. Perhaps in the end we may really find some common ground. I need to muster sufficient reserves to deal with those outlaws once and for all. I'm summoning my vassals here to Trotsky. And since I don't have many men left to send as messengers, I will gladly accept your help.
Just say the word, sir. Where should we go?
You'll go to Nebakov, a small castle, or rather a fortress among the cliffs. The yeoman there, Jaromir Nebak, is an old hardhat and may not be very willing to fulfill his obligations. It would be useful if an eloquent noble like yourself visited him to explain him clearly why I need his whole garrison.
Who is this Lord Nebak?
The lord of a smaller house with not much in the way of estates, just a fortress and lands, but he also owns a mill that provides a significant part of his income. His children are grown up. His daughter married well, thanks to Sir Otto. His son is away from the domain, dealing with duties. Sir Otto helped him to acquire an official position. In short, the House of Nebak is more than beholden to Sir Otto for his magnanimous help and support.
Thank you, Ulrich. Nevertheless, I suspect Jaromir will not be keen to charge into battle. But that is of little consequence. He has a few good men who will be useful. That will do us. If he delivers, I will regard his obligation as fulfilled.
What should we do if he's unwilling to heed what we say?
His house has always been loyal to mine. And it has always been more than worth their while. So tell him that I would like it to remain so. I do not expect any great obstacles, but it would be wise to show Sir Jaromir respect by sending him someone of status. He will take his time over being persuaded, and then concur, as he always has done.
I'll get to him somehow, sir.
I expect nothing less from you.
Is the route safe?
As I said, the fortress is in the wilderness amongst the cliffs. There are many places where outlaws may be hiding, so watch out.
Don't worry, sir. I have Henry here by my side for such situations.
Is that all, sir?
It's no simple task. Knowing Jaromir, if I sent a common messenger, he'd come back with a boot print on his backside. Dealing with the lower nobility can be tricky. They tend to be fixated on their own somewhat fragile status.
We'll take care of it, sir. Count on us.
All right. We'll head out as soon as possible. Let's not delay our diplomatic mission unnecessarily.
Very well. I think that is all for now. The Chamberlain will show you where you can put your heads down, and he will supply you with horses. And once we have resolved this little digression, we shall talk about your own mission.
Thank you, sir.
May I ask something, Sir Otto?
Oh. Ask away, young man.
When you were ambushed, did you see those bandits? Would you recognize any of them?
Henry, don't start with that again.
Why do you ask?
The thing is, when we were ambushed, I believe I saw among them one of the men we ran up against at home.
Oh. What did he look like? Do you know his name?
He's called Istvan Toth, a Hungarian noble. He wears black armor, a stocky fella, around 40.
I've already told you that's nonsense. How would he be here? You only saw him from a distance, from behind. You're imagining it.
And why does this Toth interest you, young man?
He was the leader of a band that made trouble for us in Sasau. And he has something that belongs to me.
Ah, interesting. Interesting. But I must disappoint you. I saw no one of that description.
Thank you, sir. And sorry. I had to ask.
I understand. And now I shall entrust you to the care of Uri here. And I shall look forward to the good tidings you bring me from Nebakov. Go with God, gentlemen.
Thank you for everything, sir. The Lord be with you.
There will be time enough yet for social niceties. Now there are more practical matters to deal with. Sir Otto has generously agreed to accommodate Lord Capon in one of his chambers. And you, Henry, shall also be accommodated, as befits your station. There, your equipment shall also be returned to you, and you'll find your horse in the stable. Nevertheless, his lordship takes the view that, as a noble's escort, you should have a befitting mount, and therefore he has kindly decided that you may take one of our horses, if you so wish. Gentlemen, follow me. So, Sir Hans, allow me to...
Hold on, Sir Ulrich. If you think everything is settled between us, and we're going to act like nothing happened, then you're mistaken.
Sir?
You were going to have me executed a short while ago. I expect a proper apology.
Then please accept my apology once more, sir. But given the circumstances...
Given the circumstance? What circumstances?
Sir, poaching is a capital offence.
And are you the king? That you can hand down death sentences? No, you are not. What's more, you had plenty of reasons to realise it wasn't a good idea.
Sir, I could not have realised that.
You couldn't have realised? Yes, you could, but then you wouldn't have been able to play the Lord and stage private executions.
Sir, once more I apologise. And now, please allow me to show you to your quarters.
I wouldn't dream of inconveniencing you. I'll find my quarters by myself. Henry, once you're done with that annoying fool, get your horse and we'll meet at the gate.
Well, it seems Lord Capon will not be requiring my services anymore today.
Please excuse him. He's been through a lot, as I'm sure you understand.
It is understandable, of course. I was just hoping that our relationship would be a bit warmer after that, regrettable misunderstanding. Nevertheless, welcome to Trotsky, the finest and biggest castle you shall ever see. Rumor has it that the castle was built on the jaws of hell, and that we're sometimes plagued by demons here. But don't believe a word of it. It's just idle talk to excuse the servants' laziness and incompetence. It's demanding enough keeping everything here running smoothly without any of that. It requires a man of exceptional qualities and talents. By the way, this place is a maze for strangers. It's very easy to get lost.
Chuck him into the water. But the river there has without anyone noticing. I'm not interested.
The jail cells are down there. But I believe you are already fairly well acquainted with that part of the castle, aren't you?
You have a kind master, eh, Mutt?
All too well, thanks.
Here it is. You'll find a bed inside, opposite the door, and a chest where we put your belongings. You'll find some new clothing there, a little gift from our gracious lord, to ensure you're not mistaken for a beggar again. Once you're settled in and properly dressed, stop by the stables. They're beyond the gate, down the path. Ask for Kabat. He was supposed to prepare a horse and tack for you. Or tell him you'll keep your own if you insist. Then he'll give you proper tack at least, so you don't disgrace us.
Thanks. I'm grateful.
As you should be. So, you and I are finished, and I can finally attend to some proper work, so this castle doesn't fall on our heads.